this morning, smile with the rising sun. Three little birds, it's by my doorstep, singing sweet songs of melodies pure and true, saying, this is my message to you. Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing's gonna be alright. Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing's gonna be alright. Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. Three little birds, it's by my doorstep, singing sweet songs of melodies pure and true, saying, this is my message to you. Really don't worry about a thing. Worry about a thing, oh, every little thing gonna be alright. Don't worry, singing, don't worry about a thing. I won't worry, 'cause every little thing gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing gonna be alright. I won't worry, singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing gonna be alright. Don't worry.
Guys, we'll get started in about 3 minutes. I got a lot of students trying to get in this morning. I don't know what's going on.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Here come bad news talking this and that.
All right, let's
Give me all you got and don't hold it back.
put it that way. Morning, how is everybody today? Turn off the dancing bears there. Good to see everyone. Please make sure your ID is set to your first and your last name so I can get you counted for attendance. If it is anything other than your first and last name, there's a good chance you won't get counted properly in attendance. And so don't forget to do that. Just reminders, it's 7th grade art. If you are in elementary school or in high school, you need to check your homeroom schedule because you're here at the wrong time. Or your homepage schedule, excuse me. All right, guys, a couple of housekeeping things. First of all, I'd like to look at our homepage. If you missed your DBA, that's the stern shaking of the finger. It's okay. There is an alternative posted, but I'm going to tell you right now, ask anybody who took the DBA. My DBAs are super easy and fun to do in person. Always choose the DBA. But if for any reason you missed the DBA, don't panic. There is a DBA alternative. It is a test, if you will, but it's a little more fun than most tests. When you come to this, click on the little link there. It's going to bring you to a game I've created. It's not a lot of fun. It's still an assessment, but it's hopefully more fun than a normal. You'll click the green flag. It'll take you through the questions you'll answer. It'll tally your score. You'll take a screenshot of that and submit that for your DBA there. Just a screenshot with your score. And it tells you how to do that at the end of the little game as well. But you can just do a basic screenshot, submit that for your DBA with your score there, so I can give you proper score. If you know that if you come to the DBA and you do it live, you get 100%. Everybody who comes and takes it live gets 100%. Now, a couple of you had to come back and take it twice, but that's okay. You still got 100%. Attendance. You're here. So again, this is preaching to the choir, but if you are a student who maybe doesn't have the most regular attendance, get it regular. In 2 days, we got grades coming out. And so they're going to do a review, just make sure you're attending classes like you're supposed to. They're going to look to see that you're turning in work like you're supposed to and all that good stuff. The assignment categories have changed in IC. They were mislabeled. If you will check your Infinite Campus grade the next day or tonight, you'll see that those are adjusted. You should have a proper grade now reflected in Infinite Campus. I think those have all rolled over as of last night. So check your Infinite Campus. I don't think I have grades turned off for the Canvas application, so you shouldn't even be able to see them there. But if you do, you all have been told, and you should know by now, those aren't your actual grades to Infinite Campus, because that calculates all the percentages and all that. But those have been adjusted. Make sure you check there. If you have any questions, please email me and I'll get you squared away quickly. There is no penalty for late work. Some of you have sent messages like in a panicked, I'm so sorry it's late. You don't have to apologize. It's okay. It's not, there's no penalty for late work. Those due dates are there for a couple of reasons. One is when October 13th comes, and these dates, when they check to see if you're on pace, that's when it's going to be more important than it is for how it impacts your grade. Those dates, they're there to keep you on pace. You don't want to build up and have a lot of stuff left. And that's, again, kind of why they're doing these checks. So make sure you're getting your work turned in on time, as it's related to maintaining your status in the program. But you're not going to have a late penalty. Work that's missing, get it turned in. It won't impact your grade negatively. You'll get full credit. Did a STLP meeting start this week? Yay! So if you're doing art club, the animation club, storyboarding and film club, Minecraft club, learning to code, any of those fun things, all of that starts this week. If you don't know what STLP is, where have you been? So STLP is you can self-enroll. I'm not going to take everyone through the tour of it for the fourth time. But you can click that button if you want to join. STLP is the Student Technology Leadership Program, where you can learn to make cool stuff with technology. All right. Our lesson today, the video didn't, I don't know what's going on last night, but it didn't convert in time. So we're going to do it the hard way. We're going to go through and look at texture and value here. We have gone all about through line. Boy, we beat line silly. We talked a lot about line. Let me look. Zoom is having a lot of trouble getting some students in. I've looked at it a couple times. Morning, Reg. Jacob, guys, I hope you guys made it in this time. Looks like I've clicked you all in a couple of times. So if you go here, Giovanni and Ridge, make sure you get your first and last name on there so we get your attendance taken correctly. Okay, we talked about line. We talked about shape. Now we're talking all about the value. Value is how light or dark something is. We're going to look later this week during our Make Day at the work of a few different artists. They talk about Paul Rubens here. And Rubens is a good example. Rubens is one of these great Dutch masters who pioneered what we call chiaroscuro, and used the idea of you had light to dark transitions that show three-dimensionality and roundness of people and that sort of thing. And we'll take a look at some of his work on that later this week. I don't think they look at much of his in this anyway. We are not going to do this particular sketchbook activity, but we are going to do an activity this week that looks at how we'll create value using line, We did a little of this kind of when we looked at converting shapes to forms. But we're going to look at different methods for creating value in your artwork, from these very soft transitions to real hard use of line and that sort of thing, cross hatching and that sort of thing. These are what we sort of did last week, kind of looking how we turn those forms in. And again, we looked at how we did that using value, but we're going to look at different ways you can create value this week. We're also going to be looking at texture this week, and texture is how things feel or how they appear to feel. Before we go too much further, I kind of want to look at the idea of this implied texture. Well, you'll hear me say this word implied texture a lot this next week. And so when we're talking about implied textures, excuse me, we're talking about the idea that the artist creates an impression, or sometimes this is done in photography. The artist creates the impression that there's texture there when you're really looking at a basic two-dimensional surface. So actual texture is like if I touch my hair, and that's actually how texture feels. If I have a photograph, for instance, where this looks like little knots of hair, it looks like if I touch that, it would feel like hair, but that's an implied texture. It's on a two-dimensional surface. So understanding implied means it's not really there. It's just there's the implication of that that texture. And so that's kind of what we're going to be looking at, is how we can create different types of texture in that implied area, because we're not going to, particularly where we're virtual. If we were in class, I'd probably give you a bunch of clay this week and texture sheets where you can push it into the clay, you let it dry, and then you can feel that texture. You know, that's pretty real. It makes you understand, hey, that's texture. Feels like an alligator skin, that sort of thing. We're going to be working virtually, so we're going to focus on implied texture, but this is also the aspect of texture that most artists work on, because unless you're a sculptor who is actively using real textures and you're finding real fur and you're using real stone and creating these actual textures, most all artists are painters, drawing, printmakers. They're doing these types of things that are two-dimensional. So they have to create the illusion or the implication of that texture. So we're going to look at ways like, how can you create the idea of that rope? How can you make it feel like it's really rope when you're just using graphite, maybe the pencil or a marker, something. And so how can we use line to create a variety of different textures? How can we give the implication of stone, of wood, of grass? When we're looking at clouds, how do clouds look like clouds and not look like just big rocks in the sky and that sort of thing? And so these are some of the techniques we're going to be talking about this week. Stippling. Stippling is when you take little dots of value. If you're using a pencil pen and you make a little series of dots, the closer those dots get together, the darker the value to create, the further those dots are apart, the lighter the value they create. So you can get a range of value. And they're kind of showing that in this a little bit. And we're going to look at how stippling is definitely one of those we're going to be taking a look at this week. Hatching. Hatching is when we got lines going in one direction. And then we got cross hatching when you got lines coming back over in another direction. There's the what we'll call a soft gradation that's often created. So soft gradations can be created. They're harder very often to create with pencil, and by soft gradations, if we can get a transition of value without seeing the line, and get that real soft. I used to work with an artist that taught at University of Kentucky, and he taught hold on, I'll answer your question just a second. I'm so sorry. So he taught medical illustration. Literally, he would do, if you were a doctor, became a doctor, you had books that had tons of anatomy, and all of the images and those things were created by artists, and particularly back in the day. And so he was an illustrator who created these illustrations for medical books. And his technique was very, very unique for creating soft gradation transition. He would use a powdered graphite. And that powdered graphite is, imagine if you took your pencil lead and you just crushed it up into a very soft powder. Well, he would take that powder in a makeup brush, like a woman would apply, or like a person would apply makeup to their face. Those real soft pounce type of brushes. And he would dab it into that very soft, powdery graphite, and then just dab that onto the surface of his drawing material. And that would create these really, really soft gradations. And so we're going to look at how you can create that value in a way that is a real soft and very smooth transition. So that's how we can create the impression of smooth surfaces. It's one of those things, again, when you don't want to create a cloud if you can help it necessarily, if it doesn't fit the mood of the drawing or the style. You don't want to create it using lots of crosshatches necessarily. You might want that soft, sort of fluffy look. All right, guys, don't be worried real quick. I'm taking a roll here. Let me get that done real quick. Okay. All right, guys. I don't know what's going on with Zoom today, but I think there's 3 or 4 of you. If you feel like maybe you aren't getting, Kylie, I know you. I think this is the second time I've had to click you in. I hope you're able to actually hear me. I'll make sure your name has been added to the. It's Carmine. Sorry, is it Carmine? Carmine, did you just come in? Is that Carmine? Sorry, guys. Well, good morning. Okay, guys, we're gonna go over. I'll go over that homepage again in just a second. I know there's a couple questions about the DBA alternatives. We'll go over that in just a second. So what we're gonna be doing on Thursday of this week. Thursday's your all's make day. Is we're gonna be looking at how we're gonna create the ideas of value and texture together. How can we use value to create those textures? And so that's kind of why we're combining both these elements in one, not taking line like we did line and shape separately, but kind of working these together. They're going to go kind of hand in hand. We're going to work through the elements, and we'll be done with the elements by December, by midterm, if you will. In the spring, we'll start talking about the principles of art. And so understand that the elements of art are sort of like the tools that an artist has: line, shape, color, texture, these types of things, form. When we talk about the elements of art, we're talking about the ways that the artist can use those tools. So creating movement in the work of art, achieving balance in a work of art, those types of things. We're going to start on that in January and December. Along the way, though, we're going to be looking at how we can apply those things to this ever-running little project that's kind of running in the background. I'll mention it every week because, as we go through these modules, this whole thing is set up for a graphic novel. And so I like to kind of get away from that idea just a little bit, but we're going to kind of be coming back to it on occasion. We're going to look at how we can apply the ideas of value and texture to those interior spaces and those different spaces that you might use in your graphic novel. So just want to let you know, we've not forgot about that, but that's also not what it's all going to be about. Let's look real quick at that homepage because I had a couple of questions about the DBA alternative here. So if you took the DBA, this doesn't apply to you. If you took the DBA for 9/27 through 10/1, week before last, if you took the DBA, you came in and we had a conversation and you submitted what you were supposed to submit and I gave you, you're done. You don't need to, this doesn't apply to you. If, however, you missed the DBA and you want to make that up and get those points, you can click this yellow and red button here that says DBA alternative. And you'll see it says click green flag to begin. Once you get here, you're going to come to this little page that has my assessment coded into it. And so you'll go through and take the assessment. You'll click the green button. I'll say, hey, how are you today? And some fun stuff like that. And make sure I got it right here. And it'll verify that you're a real person, not a computer, that sort of thing. And then you'll take the little assessment. At the end, it'll give you your score. It'll tell you what your score is. If you get less than 50%, you're going to be asked to retake it. Just take it again. You can retake it as many times as you like to get the score that you want, if you like. But once you get the score you like, you're going to take a screenshot of that last page with your score, where it says, you'll see Amelia going, hey, you passed, and all kinds of fun stuff. And so you'll just take a screenshot of that and you'll submit that right on the homepage for the DBA. Does everybody understand that? Any questions about that? Do we have to do it today? So again, there's no penalty for late work, but guys, remember on Wednesday, I think it is, the grades are going to start being posted. I believe that's the review and process anyway. So you don't necessarily have to do it today, but if you want those points counted and seen, you really need to do it by Tuesday, because you know, I try to grade everything by 10 a.m. of that day that was turned in that day, so that it has time to roll over into Infinite Campus. So yeah, you can do it tomorrow. Yeah, it's there. You can do it anytime you want. You can do it tonight in the middle of the night. You just click it, you take it, screenshot, and submit. Journey, does that make sense? Lanaya, did you understand? Did you have any questions? And Giovanni, your grade will go up for it. I mean, yeah. Lanaya, do you not understand, or do you not have questions? I just want to make sure that I'm answering all the questions, because if you have questions I haven't answered, that picture's creepy. Oh, the picture of the textures, it was kind of creepy. Yeah, I can see that. And of course, Arlo, yes, absolutely, you may. On Thursdays, our make day. I call it the make day. It's the day we make the art. It goes to the project. That's just what I call it. Okay. Okay, Lena, I just want to make sure. I saw no in there, and I didn't know if that was in response to do you understand? So I just want to make sure you understand. All right, guys. Check that link if you haven't already, and you need to take that DBA. Make sure it's working for you. But if for any reason you have trouble with it, I think it's a fun, easy. I won't say super easy. It's super easy to take the DBA. Always the easier alternative will be to take that DBA, come and have a conversation with me. If you did, if you're one of the many, most of you did. I think I've got 52 students in this class, and well over 30 of you. I think we were almost 40. So that's a huge percentage of it, considering what we've had in attendance, to have taken it live. And you know, it was easy. It took 2 or 3 minutes. Only a couple of you were asked to go back and look at the review and come right back. And then we had fun doing it real quick, and it was over, painless and easy, and you got 100%. And so, but if for any reason, Jersey, you may, yeah. If for any reason you missed that DBA window, I can't open it up to live DBAs indefinitely, because I've got elementary school and middle school and high school students, and those DBA times are constantly being used by different grade levels. So this is the alternative to the easy, fun way. It's not as easy and maybe not as fun. Hopefully it's more fun than most assessments. That's the other thing. If you do take it, if you're one of the students who's going to take the DBA, this alternative, I would ask that you please send me an email. Let me know about your experience. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What could I do differently, make it more fun? And other than that, guys, we're at 8:24. I know you all got another class or something going on at 8:30 right this morning. I got an email from 2 or 3 of you saying there was something going on at 8:30. So I'm assuming that was because I got the same email. Last thing. All right. Thursday this week, really all you're going to need materials wise, pencil, paper, if you're going to work with traditional materials. If you're using Sketchpad or Canvas or whatever, It'll probably be pretty easy even if you're using a mouse, because we're going to be looking at I don't either. Guys, if you all know what's going on at 8:30, because I got an email that just said that from like 3 different students that they had to leave the meeting at 8:30. So in case if it's a class thing and you all know what it is, because I had a student who doesn't know what it is. I know that sounds odd that maybe. Okay. It may be just that 3 of you had a doctor's appointment today. I seem that's 5% of my class better. I don't know if that's too serendipitous to make it that's the reason. But yeah, if you have questions, Thursday we'll be making art. We'll be doing the textures and combining the texture and the value. The video link from today's lesson will be posted here immediately. Sorry, it's not posted in advance. If I can get the actual lesson up, it's better than me doing things live for Zoom, because I forget little things and details. That's why I don't usually do these live. But I'll see which one one of them will, either this session of me babbling will be posted, or the good one of me actually getting through the lesson properly will be posted there. And then we'll have our assignment Thursday. Guys, have a great day. Do something fun today. And I look forward to seeing you in the art club or the animation club or the film club. Join STLP. Bye, guys. Bye. Does anybody know what's going on at 8:30? If you do, before you get out of here, put it in the chat. I'd kind of like to know. Stay in the loop. Not really used to being in loops, though, so I don't guess that really applies. Bye, guys. Have a great day. Guys, do you have any questions? Tonight, Juliet, Casey, morning, Lario. Guys, again, if you missed the DBA, don't forget to take the alternative. Click the green flag once you get on that little site, and it'll take you right through. And then send me an email. Let me know what you thought about it. Bye, guys. Casey, Jabez, Juliet, and Zoe. Any questions, comments, or snide remarks? What's my hair doing today? What is goodness? I gotta get a haircut. My son's wedding's coming up. I can't look like that. What's going on with this? Casey, Zoe. Is it Jabez? Is that right? Jabez? Where's the emphasis? I wonder on that one. Any questions? Are you guys awake? Wake up. All right, I'm in the meeting if you have any questions. Going once, going twice. Have a good morning.